Hey girl.
Hey Diva, how are you?
I'm doing amazing. You look so good.
I forgot my teeth. You know what? It's for the best.
It really is.
I
for
really
the
can't
best.
put any more paint on my teeth this Halloween.
And you know what? Sometimes Reagan, she gets her teeth done.
She got veneers.
And she got her hair did. You remember
I was
the
meant for long
wig.
hair. I
Yeah.
know.
It sucks. It's like your eyes look insane. Like they look amazing.
You don't think it's like the full like fluorescent purple face paint?
Yeah.
And like
It's probably that too. They're just like, I've never seen your eyes that color
dark shadows around my eyes.
before. You did makeup on your face?
You think it's just the wig? You think just the wig is the reason?
Yeah, I didn't even realize that you painted your face.
Yeah, I just did a little touch up, honestly. I just had to cover up some things.
You should be working at carnivals. I'm being so serious.
I should be working at carnivals.
You should be painting Spider-Mans on people's faces. Like you are good with a paintbrush.
Stop.
Yeah, you're good with a paintbrush.
I should be painting Spider-Mans on people's faces.
Pumpkins.
I could do that.
For our listeners who are not watching, Joe is dressed like Reagan from The Exorcist, and I'm the priest.
Well, are you in costume or is this just your new work uniform?
I do have an announcement, and it's that I am training to be a part of the Brotherhood of Traveling Pants. I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I'm a Franciscan brother.
Well, they don't wear those.
Well, this is our training robes.
No, it's not, though, because I went to school with many Franciscan brothers.
I'm just Roman Catholic.
You're Roman Catholic. You're RC.
That sucks.
Well, it makes sense.
I would give an amazing homily. Could you imagine the shit I said on Patreon? I would spin that.
My back is itchy again.
It is always when you wear a dress.
It's when I wear a dress and I'm in this chair.
It's because I'll tell you why. It's because
It's the same spot.
the zipper there.
There's no zipper. The buttons are right here. It buttons down the front.
Oh, whoa.
My back is unbelievably itchy, you guys. I can't live like this.
You let me know. I can give it an itch, a scratch.
I might need a full I might need a full load. It's really not.
You want a load on your back?
Yeah.
Good children.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Good Children, the podcast where hosts Joe Hegyes
And Andrew Muscarella reflect on their 24 years of friendship,
growing up in the late 2000s,
early 2010s,
and all of the nostalgia
trauma,
and exorcisms that go along with it.
I've done a lot of exorcisms in my day, Reagan. And you have been extraordinary, to say the least.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I can't get through to that fucking toxic being.
When you have a certain level of talent like I have, it does become a bit of an impenetrable force that people really can't reckon with. And I put in the work. I put in hours at the gym.
Yeah, you are.
I put in hours at Cold Stone Creamery.
Yes.
That was where I made my tips when I was singing. And I put in hours online. I'm constantly doing press, and here I am today.
And I thank you for sitting down with me.
Of course.
Because I think
it's
it's a beautiful thing.
It's been a very long time.
I think it's a beautiful thing that we, as two different beings, can be in the same room and share the same blood of Christ.
I give you a lot of credit because I never thought I'd see you again after I threw you down that flight of stairs and you broke your neck. But I think it's really noble of you. It's very Christian of you to come back and to be kind, because
Love thy
a lot
neighbor.
of people wouldn't be kind, and I respect that.
Love thy neighbor. And you know what? A little staircase can't do anything to me.
Exactly.
I'm resilient.
Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us.
And you trespassed against me.
And you trespassed against me, Father Karras.
But today, together, we are one. Are you going to start singing from the Lion King?
Yeah, how could you not?
From the day we arrived on the planet.
Well, wait, that's not We Are One, right? That's Circle of Life.
Yeah, were you singing?
I think I was also doing Circle of Life, I guess.
You were.
No, but what is it? But you see every day that you'll never turn away.
Wow.
We are more than we are one.
I don't know that one.
Segunda a one.
Okay.
The reason I'm familiar with that song is because in, let's say, 2012, Hunger Games Tumblr time, I orchestrated a communal fandom performance of We Are One, where I had people submit themselves singing it And then I mixed them all together and made it one song.
I think I remember you showing me
because
this.
there was drama because a friend of mine, I mean, it was horrible. Let's admit it was horrible. But
would you say
people
most
were talking
submissions were
shit.
bad?
Well, no, my mix was the worst part, probably, I would say. Like it wasn't easy to mix. People were singing different keys. What was I going to do? I was 15.
You didn't give them like a background track or something?
I was a 15-year-old. I was a 14-year-old on the internet.
So you said, hey guys, if you could just submit a video of you singing without any
Yeah, of course not, because I had to take their raw vocals.
Wow.
And I remember commented on it and was like, this is so bad. And that's when I became the villain I am today, both literally and metaphorically.
You thought you were pitching to people that you were going to be a mix master.
I was pitching essentially what I thought I was doing was a We Are the World.
I knew you were.
But for the Hunger Games fandom.
Yes.
And what I neglected to mention to the group was that I was unfamiliar with the qualities of audio mixing.
Yes.
To this day, I still don't know how to mix audio.
The difference between your version and We Are the World is that the people who were singing We Are the World were in that studio working around the clock to get that out there. Yep.
When you hear a certain call
and the world will come together as one.
Should we redo We Are the World, but we just do we are just the only two people in it?
And
or do we bring in
different...
Grant Nash?
I think we can bring in Grant Nash and some other people. Maybe it's like
New York,
other New York like comedians.
Annoying duo. We Are the World. Yeah.
Yeah. The HBO Girls rewatch or
Celebrity Memoir Book Club.
Yep, Celebrity Memoir Book Club. Us, Grant Nash.
We could definitely branch out from there.
Yeah,
and we definitely should.
I think that's good.
Okay, great,
cool.
I want Justin Bieber's part.
All right, I think
is Miley in that?
Oh, you're talking about like. Why do I think that we were talking about like the OG, like Michael Jackson?
No, I didn't care about that one. No offense, I wasn't alive. But the We Are the World that came out in like 2011.
Oh, you're talking about like the most recent
Justin
one. For
Bieber.
some reason,
Justin Bieber was like a child in it. He starts, there comes a time.
Yeah.
When you hear a certain call.
I think Miley might be in that one.
Well, Stand Up to Cancer, that performance. Beyonce, Rihanna, Miley.
Yes. So what are we talking about today?
So this week we are talking about sick days. I mean, listen, I bet you people are probably like, if you're newer to the podcast or you listen to it every single week for 2 years, you're probably like, why haven't they spoke about Halloween yet? Why is it not Halloween themed? We've done 3 costumes so far. There's been no Halloween theme. We'll tell you why.
Because every year we talk about Halloween, we've beaten it down to death.
To a pulp.
And you know what? I can't imagine we have anything more to say about Halloween.
And maybe if maybe that we're taking a year off, next year we'll have more to say. But I mean, what could we say? What could we say at this point? Like, oh, trick-or-treating. Oh, bobbing for apples. Joe's Halloween party.
Oh, every Halloween movie that ever existed.
Oh, everyone's gay.
Oh,
enough.
We're scared.
Enough.
We don't really talk about horror movies enough.
We don't.
That's something that maybe next year we can talk about, or maybe soon we can talk about horror movies and what they've done to us and what they, I can't look at the screen. Yes, you know what I mean? Like, I can barely even look you in the face. But I feel very at peace as a priest.
Well, it makes sense for you. I think this episode should be sick days and the potential of you becoming a priest.
I love that. Because you know what? If for 30 minutes we were to together collaborate and think about my journey,
which we've done, I think, 6 to 7 times in this podcast, but
this one feels more.
Well, now you're in the costume. Now you're in the garment.
Thank you.
Sorry,
it's not a costume.
Yeah, well, your pussy's out, so it's a little bit confusing.
Because this kind of is giving like, could be like a variation of like porn.
Well, they usually wear pants, priests.
Not this type of priest. Oh, that sucks, right?
So do you think all priests are gay?
Right off the bat, you're asking this question?
I just think not in a shady way, not in a shady or disrespectful way. I just feel like, come on.
I think that I would, if I had to put a number on it, I would say 80%.
I would say 80%.
Yeah. And
with confidence.
Again, from 2 gay men.
That's actually not disrespectful.
It's not disrespectful. We're just saying we believe that 80% of priests are gay. And are they acting upon it? No. And you know what?
That's fine.
To each their own. What I know about them is they have beautiful homes for the most part.
Beautiful homes.
They get cars.
They have a chosen family.
They have a chosen family that they live with all the priests.
Yeah.
In that house.
That's not that bad.
It's really not that bad. And when you think about it,
Stop.
we live in an apartment with 3 gay men. It's basically the priesthood.
Familyless gay men. We really, almost in our 30s.
And I would say I've
priests.
said some prayers in this apartment.
Well, I'm not really. Well, you just did the prayer to Archangel Gabriel.
St. Michael.
Oh.
No, you never knew that one?
No, I was never performing exorcisms in school the way that it seems like you were.
The reason I know St. Michael the Archangel is because I wanted 5 extra points on my religion final in 8th grade, and I memorized it.
Yeah, I did not memorize that. I did not care. The fact that you cared about a single grade you got in religious education is something that should be studied by a team of scientists at MIT.
Yes.
Because what were the consequences of doing poorly in your religion class? What were the consequences?
We didn't even necessarily get report cards.
No.
And that's what's
And my mom was like our teacher for most of it.
But once it hit 8th grade, it got serious. And
they split us up.
Yeah, they
split us up.
Yeah.
Because they were threatened by 2 other power gay duos.
Yeah. They were like, these 2, they felt the power within us.
They saw us and they said, come on, look at them. They're us.
We were just chatting. We were sitting next to each other. We were doing the thing. But when it came to 8th grade and when it came to the religious education final, I'll never forget. And I have regrets because I cheated.
You cheated on the religious education final?
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Do you see my confusion here? Because
yeah,
it's like,
for sure.
You're going to hell.
Yeah.
You're cheating.
Yes.
Why do you need to get a good grade then?
I don't know. I do remember I got the best grade in the entire program.
Because you cheated.
Yes.
So did you feel good? That's my next question for you. So when you cheat on something like that and you get told like you got the best grade in the entire program, do you walk away from that with a sense of like pride or do you feel almost shame?
I think this could be studied.
That's what I'm wondering.
Because I walked away with it with a sense of pride.
That's weird.
It's sick. It's really sick when you think about it.
Yeah. I think I'd feel sick.
You would feel guilt.
I
did feel the. Listen,
especially with Jesus
with
up on that cross staring
with
at me
religious
in the
education,
room.
correct. There was a little sense of shame because I said that's pretty fucked up that I had to cheat while God was watching.
Right.
But when God's off the clock, sometimes when you're taking a history exam,
no, I know, but we're
anything.
Specifically speaking about this religious education final in 8th grade where you learn the prayer to Archangel Michael.
Yeah, because I knew I was a little bit nervous that I wasn't be able to bring it home with the other questions, but I knew St. Michael was going to rebuke the devil within you.
Why were they teaching us the prayer for exorcisms?
I don't know.
Can you do it really quickly?
Yeah. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in this day of battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and the snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. O thou Prince of the heavenly hosts. May the power of God... Oh, I don't remember this part. May the power of God... Nope. I lost it. That stinks.
Well, you tried your best, but you can't get rid of me yet.
I know. By the end of the episode, I'll remember it. I was doing so well at the beginning.
So you as a priest, let's just think about this. When's your limit? Is it 40? Did you say, or is it 30?
I think I said 30,
which is
really scary.
It's coming up. Less than 2 years out.
Less than 2 years out.
A year and a half out.
A year and a half out. I said if I'm single by 30, I'm going to strongly consider becoming a priest.
What if you get into a relationship and that relationship ends and you're single? Like, is it like if you stay single by 30, or is it like...
I think the parameters is going to be this.
If you're not in any kind of relationship.
I need it to be in a 7-month-long relationship. Just 7.
Okay, so it could be 7 months starting tomorrow and then 7 months ends, but you're 30 and you're still single, but you're like, that's okay.
But I'm like, that's fine.
Because at least you did it once.
Yeah, at least I did it once. So a 7-month-long relationship would be what barred me from... Priesthood.
But listen,
I'm just thinking.
The odds are stacked in your favor.
I'm assuming groceries are covered.
Well, that's a good question. I don't think groceries are going to be covered.
I'm sure that
you're getting a stipend. You're getting a stipend. You're getting a pay. I can only assume you get a little bit of a salary.
You get a little bit of salary, but you're meant to be living in poverty.
I know that, and I've talked about the priests at my high school many times who had Rolexes and drove Audis
because I don't think they're paying for housing. That's included from the church.
Yeah, Andrew.
So that's a huge expense.
A lot of people like live at home and don't pay rent and don't have Rolexes and Audis.
You're right. You're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're going to be just like them.
I'm going to be just like,
You're going to be the most corrupt priest of
I'm
all
going to be
time.
coming to your little dinners, and I'm going to show up just like so.
Just like so.
And I'm going to say, good morning, brother.
Stop. The way that I could easily see a world where, like, I'm like 42. I have like 2 kids. They're like 8 to 7 vibes. And it's like, oh my God, like, remember Uncle Andrew's coming over today, like, be on your best behavior. And like, they're so nervous when you walk into the room because you're fully a priest. And it's like me, my husband, and my 2 kids. And we're all just sitting there with you across the table. And you're like, so how have you been living your life lately? How are you feeling about things lately?
Talk to me about your vices.
And I'm like, Andrew, you were the bottom of Brooklyn 20 years ago. What happened?
I'm going to say, I found him. He found me on the street. And similarly to, you had a conversation with me recently that you found Jesus.
Well, I didn't find Jesus. Jesus found me on the street, and I didn't give him $20, and I regret it.
Exactly. But I was able to find Jesus, and I gave him the $20, and he gave me everything. All right, I'm going to stop doing this because
it's so real.
It's so real. It's so real. But if I was to choose priesthood anywhere, I think I would probably end up, I would go on a coast somewhere.
I don't know if you get a choice. I think they station you like it's like the army.
You don't think I can talk to a few people?
Well, actually, yeah, I forgot that you're a corrupt person. So yeah, you would be able to get wherever you wanted to be.
They might even send me to the Vatican.
I'm pretty sure they staple you. But I'm pretty sure they bring you somewhere. They assign you a location. You could be assigned Austria.
Oh, that could be amazing.
That would be amazing for you. You could find Sister Eileen.
Oh, shit. Now I have to do fucking detective work.
Detective priest.
I can
Father detective father.
Oh, I could detect a lot of things.
You could detect a lot of fathers.
Right. And you know what? Thing about me, I love bread. But I think my church,
you're adding some yeast to that bread.
I'm adding a little bit of yeast. Oh no, we can keep the wafer as is, but I would like to add some sort of jam component that you can dip and dunk.
And some brie.
And some brie. Have you ever thought a little bit of brie would make that incredible?
They just want you to suffer through it. They can't give you even the slightest amount of a baked brie.
No.
For that,
it's
imagine.
Dry as hell. No, exactly. A little fig jam.
I don't think that Jesus Christ, the person, would be very happy to know that his body is being represented by the most flavorless Triscuit of all time. I think that he'd be pretty shocked to learn, because it's like, at least you'd expect it to be a pita, a stuffed pita with it's like,
stuffed, at least. And to your point, Triscuit, that would be amazing.
Use
the rosemary and sea salt.
The rosemary and sea salt Triscuit.
Use the rosemary and sea salt Triscuit.
And it's just like, it's just kind of like, if the church wants people to show up, if you want new members,
they gotta show up as well.
They have to do a collaboration with Triscuit, a pop-up at the very least.
Or wheat thins. We're not even asking too much.
No.
It could be Triscuit, but Triscuit, I understand. It's like those things are woven.
They're woven.
But if you were to collab with wheat thin, that's easy. Make it a circle.
Taco Bell did the collab with Cheez-It. The Roman Catholic Church does a collab with wheat thin. Even the 100-calorie pack Oreo thins.
Oh, do you think that they should come in like a little package because one's never enough?
Well, that happened. They did that for COVID. No, that was, yes, they did. Yes, they did. I remember like my mom got ashes or something during COVID, and they had to-go bags of ashes. Do it yourself, DIY ashes in little plastic bags.
So we're going to give out DIY goodie bag Eucharist. This is sick. With little pouches of to-go wine.
I feel like that's sacrilege.
I think that everything that we've said so far is sacrilege.
But we say it with love and respect. Yeah. I don't think we said anything genuinely offensive.
I agree.
If anyone's offended, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we were very sorry, because you know what? I see you, I hear you, I respect you.
To every straight priest that listens to this podcast, I want to say you're valid, and I'm sorry that I denied your identity, because that's just like immature, honestly.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You're a straight priest, and you love good children, and we love you.
And you're a storyteller at the end of the day, just
like us. It is true. I think they are like the modern day Homers in some ways.
They are.
Well, no, but they're a modern day story.
And that's why I think that the transition from gay Brooklyn podcaster right into priest
Makes a lot of sense.
Would be an easy, smooth transition. All I need to do is recap my week, tie it to a verse from the Bible, and the rest is history.
We kind of do it on Patreon every single week. Should we just start including Bible verses?
I think we should. I think we really, really should. At the end of the day, the seats would be packed.
The seats would be packed. You would bring people in.
It'd be Good Children Live.
It'd be Good Children Live. I wouldn't be there, but it doesn't matter.
No, it's okay. Because you know what? The difference between you being there physically and you being there in spirit is not much. You were there always in spirit. And I knew that. I'll know that.
Okay, thank you.
Because I know you're going to hate my brothers. I know you're going to hate them.
I think you would run into some social issues with your brothers. I think you would. Because I think that they would really be in it for the priesthood and you would be in it for the attention. I think that maybe there'd be some clashing.
Well, why do you think I'm doing acting lessons and singing lessons as we speak?
For the attention.
When I'm giving out the Eucharist and I'm saying through him, in him, with him, it's going to be one of the best riffs you've ever heard.
Right, and don't you think the other priests are going to feel a little bit like, oh, the diva's here today. Mariah's clocking in for the homily today.
Well, yes, but you know what? Sometimes there needs to be a Mariah. And Mariah, every year, it's hit after hit.
There needs to be a Mariah.
There needs to be a Mariah. There needs to be somebody who's bringing the people in. And if that's what's working for the church, it's what's working for the church.
You're not wrong. This could really save the Roman Catholic Church.
I kind of really agree.
They just become a priest.
Yeah. I think that the Roman Catholic churches should start bringing in more gay men. You know what I mean? Just like to bring the house down.
Well, first they'd have to take back
everything that they said.
Centuries of rhetoric, yeah.
But all it takes is one decision.
If someone said to you every day for your entire life, I hate you, you're going to hell. Yeah. And then one day they woke up and said, girl, we would love to have you over for dinner. Would you go? We want to have you over for charcuterie tonight. Wine and cheese and bread.
I say, how many cheese selections? 3?
I think you would go.
I think
you absolutely would go.
And I would say to you, Joe, it's so messed up that you would hold them to what they've said because they're trying to make change. So how do they make change without actually doing it?
Oh my God. So sick days.
Because obviously the way that we can pivot from the priesthood to 6 days and the exorcism is there is a layer of, would you say, sickness?
Yeah, I was thinking Reagan's
sick in the head.
She's sick. So it's at first they think she's genuinely ill and they find out that she's possessed, but it's sick days. We've all been sick. We've all looked like this before.
Oh, yeah. That's usually looking like me the day after I wake up from Taco Bell cravings box.
You look like this?
Well, yeah. When I get out of that bathroom, I'm sorry. Something's coming over me. The thing is, it's when I'm dressed like a priest, I feel like I can't hold back. I only can be honest.
You're saying anything you have said is different than anything you have been saying for the past 2 years in this podcast.
I'm not saying it's necessarily different. I just feel a sense of it's flowing easier. You definitely weren't taking sick days. That's all I'll say.
Yes, I was.
Was your mom fine with that?
No. The first time I remember really being sick, I got the flu in 7th grade. And I remember being really nervous because we had science midterms. And it was our first year with midterms. And I remember being I'm not going to be able to take the midterm. I'm going to fail
miserably.
I'm going to fail science. And I was really, really sick about it. I was out for a week of missing school. That's crazy. Because I guess I wasn't really taking sick days because my mom, I remember kids who would go on vacation in the middle of the school year.
I'm sick.
Or just go on vacation.
Yeah.
Just go to Florida, Disney for a week in February. Mm-hmm. I was always really confused by that. I was how are you just skipping school for a week? But that week really took me out, and I'll never forget. I was on my deathbed with the flu, and our science teacher, Mr. Hoffman, called my home and spoke to my mother, and he said, Mrs. Hegyes, I understand that Joe's going to be missing his midterm. He said this very seriously, very coldly. He was this is it's probably it's not looking good for him, in terms of the year. And I think that he needs to really, do a few things if he wants to, finish the school year on a high note. And that would be drink a lot of green tea, watch a lot of movies, and get a lot of rest. I love him. I love him to this day.
Drink a lot of green tea, watch a little movies,
and get some rest. He was such a sweet, sweet, sweet man.
He was a sweet soul. I do believe he was one of the first men's
that you were in love with.
I loved.
Yes, I completely agree.
I fell in love with him.
completely agree.
Yeah.
It was his humor.
Yeah,
it was his brilliant mind.
And he opened my mind to science. Like, I really was like, I believe science.
I don't remember a single. So wait, I'm sorry. Prior to that, like in 6th grade, you were like a science denier.
I wouldn't necessarily say a denier, but I wasn't saying like I led science first.
It was faith first.
I think it was faith first. Yeah. And then like once I met Mr. Hoffman and he like started to talk to me about like fossils and stuff, I kind of was like,
I don't even think it was about fossils.
I think it was general science.
Earth science was 8th grade.
And that man made me
homophobic.
Yeah. Believe a lot of things about gay men.
Oh my God.
Holy shit, it's taking a turn.
No, but Mr. Hoffman, I'll never forget
Mm-hmm.
that day walking into school in October, and he said it's a really serious lesson today. I think I got my entire sense of humor from him.
Mm-hmm.
He said it's a very serious lesson today, and he ended up just quizzing us on High School Musical for the whole class because the 3rd movie was coming out. And I knew I was every question. Got every question right.
And that's why you passed that class.
Exactly.
He said, tell him to watch a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Never forget, he complimented my glasses once I got new glasses, and I blush, and I remembered I never took those glasses off. I wanted to wear those glasses all the time.
I always had my hair in a front flip, and one day I wore it down and like with sweatpants, and I will never forget he saw me in the hallway and he was like, "What are you doing? You look homeless."
No.
Completely just dunked on me as a 7th grader.
He really was very comfortable.
Yes.
He was very, very
But
comfortable.
I loved any male teacher who would slightly bully me.
All you needed was a little bit of bullying. And
All
I feel
I
like that's what I'm looking for, though.
Well,
like, that's
that's
what I
why
look
I'm
for
here.
in relationships. And
Yeah.
in friendships and everything. I just want a person to be like, why do you look like that?
And it just like lights you up on the inside.
And
If you get it, you get it. Like if you don't, you don't. But sometimes you just need someone to just really insult you, and you're like, I'm in love.
Yeah, I'm like, I love that person. But I can understand it probably was really difficult for you to be away from him for so long.
It was.
For 7 days.
Yes.
I can't imagine.
I don't think I missed any classmates.
No, my God, why would you?
I can't even imagine ever missing anyone I went to school with. No offense. Like
No, I wouldn't. No, yeah, I wouldn't miss you either.
It's just.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough one, and I don't think I ever had to take that
midterm. I'm sure he wiped it right off and probably gave you like a 90. That's what happens. I would have rathered died. I think
Then missed the midterm.
Missed the midterm. I would have showed up to that school infecting everybody.
I'm sure.
To take that midterm, sweating through it to get 100. I would have done anything. And that's the sick part. Although I was a big school misser. I miss school all the time.
When?
Especially in high school. I was missing all.
What were you doing?
I just want. Think about me. You think I can't rest. But sometimes I want a little bit of rest. I'd call out sick first 4 periods. Because it wouldn't count as an absent day if you missed more than, I think it was like 3 or 4 periods. So I would just miss the first 4 periods, which were like gym. I had gym first period. Why would I go in?
I never went to gym.
Yeah, why would I ever go in? But then I got to a problem because I was missing too much school. And then the attendance office got involved.
You were becoming a truant?
Yeah, I was becoming a problem because they would call in. My dad would be right there with me. We would stand hand in hand basically at that point. He was calling in and say that I had allergies.
You missed school because you had seasonal allergies?
Yeah. Joe, my seasonal allergies are very, very bad. I was waking up with double pink eye.
Well, you wake up with that every single day in this apartment.
Allergies. Can you imagine? Mold spores.
What?
I'm allergic to mold spores.
I don't think anyone is like living for mold.
I don't think you have to be living for mold. It's just like my eyes get very red.
I think
like,
everyone would have a negative reaction to mold, is what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there must be a lot of mold in here. Anyways, yeah, I missed a lot of school. I didn't feel really guilty when I did, but I wouldn't miss school consecutively in a row. I would just miss a few periods. And then it got to a point where then the teachers were getting upset that I was missing the classes. And then we had to have conversations.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
You really did seem like...
I wasn't a good kid.
No.
I was a good kid, but I was definitely causing problems for a lot of these teachers.
Yeah, like I never once was in a situation like that.
No. Well, we know the stories. We know
I know the
stories
home ec
of,
teacher.
You know the home ec teacher. You know my Spanish
Your
teacher.
Spanish
you know,
teacher came into home ec, right? Is that what happened?
No.
Someone told someone?
The home ec teacher told the Spanish teacher that I was talking shit. She wasn't reading my Spanish entries correctly and just giving me a 100. And then she came into my art class and she took my book and said, give me your book. She flipped through it in front of everybody in the class. And then she said, come with me. And then she walked me around the 8th grade hall and said, how dare you? And I started sobbing the entire time. And then I went back into art like nothing happened. So I definitely should have taken more sick days. I probably should have transferred schools because I really made a bad name for myself for some of these teachers. I was pathetic.
Well, why are you saying pathetic?
Because you know what? They looked at me and they were like, this kid is, there's something wrong.
Well,
would you look at me in school and you would say something was wrong?
I think now, if I was an adult, like if I was me right now,
Yeah.
and I encountered you as a, what grade would you say? Like an 8th
Let's
grader?
do like 7th or 8th grade, yeah.
I would definitely say something is severely wrong with that kid.
And would you say, and I'm sorry to my parents because this has nothing to do with them.
No.
They were not putting pressure on me
Yeah.
at all. They were happy with regardless of anything that I did, really. But would you say there's a problem at home?
For sure.
For right?
For sure.
There would have to be.
Undeniable problem at home.
You would have to think. And then that's where my mom, when she would go into the parent-teacher
You were giving her a
conferences.
really bad rap.
Yeah, the people would be like, oh my God, your mother was so lovely. They must have been thinking like I was going home and it was like I was getting screamed at for getting an 82.
Yeah.
No, the only person screaming at me was my mind. Yeah. So how about we put that past the priest? How about we put that past the priest?
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Another massive win for me in terms of sick days. I had to get my wisdom teeth taken out senior year of high school. I was in macroeconomics at the time, and it was time for the midterm in that class, I believe.
Yep.
It all happens.
I've seen Joe have flu-like symptoms very close to some events that could potentially be stressful situations.
I would never be stressed about a test, period. I wasn't stressed about a single test I've ever taken in my entire life. I felt no stress or anxiety about taking a test literally ever.
That piece of paper hits your desk.
I don't care. I never cared. I don't think I could like make it clearer. I never cared about school. Like it never, ever mattered to me. I always knew that this is what I would be doing.
I can't understand that.
This is exactly this is what I would be doing. I had no concerns. Miley didn't need to get good grades. She didn't. And I felt like that was just naturally whose footsteps I should follow.
I never understood you.
And who was happier in school? Ultimately, which is crazy because it's really green grass. Because I was very friendless, I was very depressed, I was very online, but I didn't give a fuck about school.
You didn't give a fuck about school. You always had in your head what you were gonna be, and then I was on the other side. But I also knew, Joe, about you. I always knew about you that you were a certified genius. Can you imagine? Can you imagine for a second? I'm over here growing up alongside my best friend who was gifted and talented his whole life. And he didn't care. He was just that smart and he was just that talented. I had to dig myself up that ladder thinking that I had to prove to everyone I would get 100 for them to be like, oh, but Andrew, you're gifted and talented. No, I was sick. I don't think it had anything to do with...
I was going to say, I don't think I ever
No.
in our lives would be like, what'd you get on that test?
No.
You loved doing that.
I loved doing that. It was validating.
But I feel
for
like
me.
when we were hanging out, it was never about like school or intelligence.
No, never, ever. But I guess I must have really internalized it. I must have said, I feel dumb. I mean, all these people were so smart and they were telling me I'm not getting in any of these colleges, and they were right. But at the end of the day, I did have in the back of my mind as well that I would be doing something like this. I just couldn't really accept it. But if I accepted it earlier with you, hand in hand, I would have failed out of school. Probably. I would have been at least in theater.
I'm limited. Together we're unlimited. Together we'll be the greatest team there's ever been. Glinda dreams the way we plan them. If we work in tandem, there's no fight we cannot win. Just you and I defying gravity.
Just you and I. Sorry, that's my nodes.
I heard them loud and clear.
So aside from sick days, like, what was the last thing that you mentioned in confession?
So the last confession I probably made, it had to be like senior year of high school, I can only presume. Although I don't know if I even did that senior year. I think every year we had to do confession, and I'm sure I said like I disobey my parents. I use curse words. I definitely did not say
Anything
gay. I probably said like I watch porn. At one point I think I was like I wanted to like sound cool to the priest. You know, I was like, imagine I didn't say, like, there was a fine line. It was like, you don't want to say too much because you don't want to be seen as like disgusting pervert freak demon. But at the same time, if I went into that confessional and I only said like I disobey my parents, like that's embarrassing.
But
I want that priest to know I watch porn.
You know what that priest is leaving there being like, whoa, he is cool. That kid is cool for watching porn. No, but didn't you feel like the things that you didn't share didn't go away?
I never also really felt that much Catholic guilt.
Oh, God, I am really swimming in things. Because I'll tell you, after confessions, I'll never forget. I specifically remember the feeling. You'll say your prayers afterwards, you leave, and I felt
lighter. I remember that as a kid. I remember that.
But then the first sin post confession was one of the worst feelings ever. It's kind of like, what was the point of the confession? I just sinned. But
yeah, I'm sure I probably felt that way. I've said it many times in this podcast, jerking off on Christmas Day. That felt horrible.
Yeah.
That felt disgusting.
You derailed everyone's Christmas.
Yeah.
And Jesus, and honestly, I think for once, Jesus probably wasn't very happy he was born that day.
Exactly.
And that sucks.
That was probably one of the last times, though, I felt like true Catholic guilt. Because I was like, well, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
I can't keep living like this.
You can't keep feeling like that.
Yeah.
Some of us kept feeling like that for a little bit more.
Well, you confessed to gay thoughts in confession, right?
I did confess to the gay thoughts. I think as early as middle school. I think in 8th grade.
You're kidding.
I swear to you, in 8th grade, I said to the priest I was having thoughts about men in the 8th grade. Because that's probably when I started like looking up men on the internet.
And would it be like, would you be searching like man naked?
Well,
like man, but
I would never like look at men naked. I don't think it was really that until it like got into like the porn category. Right. But I was looking at bulges. You know, I always had a fixation for a bulge.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was always zooming. I'm sick and twisted. But yeah, so I definitely announced that. I think that's really it. Probably disrespecting your parents, cursing, things like that. And then in high school, I stopped going to confession because once I was done with confirmation, I never went back. But speaking of the gayness, speaking of getting caught and feeling sick.
I thought you were actually skirting over the story just now. I was like, oh, he doesn't want to share it.
No, I'll share.
I wasn't even going to bring it back up.
I'll share because you know what? If I've learned anything on this podcast is that sharing is sometimes caring, and there could be somebody out there who also went through something similarly, and this is your opportunity to rewrite history.
To rewrite the stars.
To rewrite the stars. So I was 16 years old. I was a sophomore in high school. I had a laptop. I didn't really do much on my laptop, but 16 years old, my brother asks, hey, can I use your laptop? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. You can use my laptop. Sure, take it.
Do you like know what do you right now as a 16-year-old, like, do you know what search history is?
No. Joe, I don't think I knew about search history until...
I don't believe that.
Well, I absolutely did. I don't know when incognito came to be. And I still don't use incognito. If anyone was to take my phone and to go on my search history...
Oh, at this point, I used incognito from like, I would say... late high school through college. Now I don't really care.
I don't give a fuck. You can see whatever I'm looking at. I don't care. For the most part, it's like food, recipes, a little bit of shopping, and a lot of some other things. But speaking of the other things, yeah, my brother used my laptop, and then I was standing in the kitchen as I normally am. Probably was about to bake something nice. 16, probably making an oatmeal raisin. And he came up to me and he said, are you gay? And I said, no. Why? And he said, I saw your search history. Can you imagine?
I think I would have folded. I think I would have immediately like started sobbing and like come out.
I like don't know why I didn't.
I
Like,
could see you though not doing it. Like it makes sense that you wouldn't.
I know, but like looking back,
You were
I'm
so
like,
close.
I really was so close. And what my response was, I said,
How'd you explain this one?
I said, yeah, how did I manipulate my way out of this
Yeah.
one? How did I gaslight my way out of this one? I said, no, I'm not gay, but I am just exploring options. I'm just figuring out what I want.
Like you're touring college campuses?
Exactly. I kind of was doing it from an educational perspective as opposed to an emotional and physical one. I was learning and I was taking things in.
It's like huge cock fucks hole.
Yeah. It was like, yeah.
And you're like, I'm just trying to figure out what I like.
It was like cowboy bouncing on saddle. And I was like, yes, get that. He said, okay. And he walked away. And I don't even know how I was able to like look him in the face.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Because he was still like living at home, or he just graduated college and I was there. And yeah, that was a really brutal one. I do wish I came out, and I'm shocked he also didn't. That was, you know, he didn't out me.
Yeah.
He protected my peace. He didn't tell my parents, at least to my knowledge.
Yeah.
And what I do wish, though, and this has nothing to do with him, I wish there was another check-in.
Hey. So I know that earlier this year you were Googling like fat cock. I understand that it was just for scientific purposes.
Yeah.
Wanted to know if you've like come to a hypothesis about this kind of vibe.
And I would have been like, well, now that you ask, yeah, I've been like kind of leaning a little bit more into it. And then it could have been a conversation about being bi.
Yeah.
You know, if I was to say, yes, I am gay, things would have changed for sure. For sure. I think that I always thought about it in those moments. Speaking of religion, I was praying away the gay actively at this time. And I just got to a point where I was like, I wanted to be the person that said it first.
Yeah.
And when someone would, even in school, when they would say, are you gay? You're gay. The fact that you took those words out of my mouth before I could say it to you made me shut down and say, no, I'm not.
I do think if that happened to me, though, I think I wouldn't be able to hide it.
No.
I think I would start sobbing, and I think that would kind of be the answer.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? I was 16, I was gay, I had a cupcake business, and I was ready to take on the fucking world. Can you imagine? But nothing really changed. So, I mean, it took another 7 years.
That was heard around the world.
Yeah.
7 years.
Took another 7 years.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That's wild. And a relationship, and a straight relationship.
Yeah, poor Jesse.
Poor Jesse.
Feels like a party every day.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jesse.
Yeah.
So I'll confess some sins
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
So, okay. Hey,
Reagan.
Father.
Hey, Reagan.
Oh, am I Reagan?
I think that, like...
I could be Reagan talking about, like, my...
Well, no, maybe it's just you.
Okay.
Maybe it's just Joe.
So, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. But today's not about me, Joseph. If you can please start by confessing your sins, I will be here. Whatever you say to me, Joseph, does not leave this booth. Unless you're trying to harm yourself or harm others. Please start.
And now I'm thinking about it, I feel like I did do confession, like, senior year. But it was through, like, the full privacy booth.
So, like, oh, yeah, so they didn't know who you were.
Yeah, and that was nice.
I loved the full privacy because it's, like, it's very similar to a bathroom. It's, like, you just feel comfortable when you have that fully private space. And, like, it is kind of nice to talk to someone on the other side when you can't. Of a wall.
Should we put a wall up between us for the rest of the podcast?
It starts to just be confessionals.
Yeah, the whole time we just don't see each other at all. What if, like, we revealed, like, what if the cameras zoomed out and it was revealed that actually we have a giant confessional booth between us?
We have no idea what the other is wearing.
Right. Or if they're wearing anything at all.
Or if they're wearing anything at all.
Yeah.
So please elaborate.
Okay.
I would like to know some of your
Yeah.
sins that you would like to confess to this.
Okay,
this week.
so I guess we'll start with gay, right? That feels like that's probably the biggest one.
Just gay?
Well, what does that mean?
Can you elaborate on your gay experience?
Well, I identify as gay. I have gay sex. My relationship is open.
Oh.
So it's kind of like anything goes vibes. Yeah, I have had sex with sometimes one partner, sometimes several at once. You know, I think that's probably like the extent of that.
Okay, Joseph.
Sometimes people I know, some people I've never met, and I mean never and even introduced myself to. You know, complete strangers.
And how does that make you feel?
Fine.
Okay.
Fine. Following that up, I guess like the second one would have to be probably language. Probably like, you know, I definitely use the Lord's name in vain pretty much incessantly.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I would say.
Would you say JC?
Yeah, I would say JC. I'd say like JFC. I would say GD.
Oh.
You know, anything in that alphabet.
Okay. Yes.
That would probably be that. I mean, it's like, what else is there? What are some sins? Well, let's see. What are the commandments? Thou shalt not.
Oh, shit. There's 10, right? Oh.
Father.
I'm so sorry, Joseph. Something just slipped out of my mouth.
There's 10, right? Thou shalt not steal.
Steal.
I don't steal. I've never stolen, I don't think.
Do you disrespect your mother and father?
I probably from time to time, I would say. I think more so when I was younger. But occasionally.
Have you coveted thy neighbor's wife?
What does that mean? Like, that means, like, does coveted just mean, like, I find someone else attractive?
I think it was almost more like, the way that I interpreted it as a kid was like, you're fucking your neighbor's wife.
Well, I remember when my mom was our religion teacher, she described it as to the entire class of children. She loves Justin Timberlake, but she would never cheat on her husband with Justin Timberlake. So I guess, yeah. So no, but I mean, like, I guess you never know what the boundaries of being gay is there.
I would say for you, Joseph, I can only assume, and maybe I'm wrong, that you would put false gods before the one and only.
False gods I have put before the one and only. Myself, probably many times. Absolutely. In high school, Kanye West. When I signed a document in high school, senior year, for the Church of Yeezianity.
That's sick and twisted.
And I had to like include a picture of myself holding a sign that said, I believe in Jesus. So there's layers to that. That's a bigger sin in and of itself. I mean, I deeply regret that. It's aged really poorly.
Huge.
But I definitely would say, yeah, so Yeezianity was one of those. As a Swiftie, another layer on top of the Kanye situation that's difficult, but for sure worships Taylor Swift like Jesus Christ for a large portion of my life.
I feel like there was layers of Lord.
Oh, Lord, yes. Well, yes,
you
for
said
sure.
I feel like you might have even said sometimes like she was a saving light, or
the
she
only
was
Lord
a
I
guiding
believe
light.
in. The only Lord I believe in. Sometimes is Elielic O'Connor. Honestly, sometimes it gets simpler. It could be Ina Garten. It could be the Barefoot Contessa.
It could be. It could be Food God.
Well, don't get crazy. Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton at times in my early childhood, Britney Spears always, which also was my mom's example in school. She said, I love Britney Spears, but not as much as I love God.
I'd like to talk to her again.
My mom or Britney Spears?
Your mother.
I think you see her pretty frequently.
I do. I would like to see. I mean, I'm sure that still holds up for her. For sure. Cursing, you said. Again, you're watching porn. Not great. You're having gay sex. That's not great.
It's not great.
But, again, the confession is not about judgment. It's about listening, learning, and reflecting.
Yeah.
So, Joseph, I think from everything that you've said today,
I don't think I'm really done.
Okay, continue.
If I'm being honest, Father.
Oh my God, please.
Like, I'm just trying to think about the other commandments for a second, and I don't think it's looking good for me.
Do you want me to research them?
If I would love to know the other commandments. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. Thou shalt not put false gods before me. Thou shalt not lie. Thou shalt not sin. Thou shalt not get caught. Are those them?
Yeah. You shall have no other gods before me. We have said yes.
We handled that one.
You shall not make idols. Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. What are you doing on Sundays?
Oh, girl. I think that sometimes New York Jacks is hosted on Sundays.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh, sorry. That's insane. I'll tell you, I do keep it pretty holy on Sundays.
Holy.
Yeah, it's definitely a holy day, but I'm definitely eating. I'm definitely like...
But isn't gluttony a sin?
I don't think it's food. I think, if anything, it's consumption of material goods.
That would be, yeah, I guess both. Yeah, I'll add that to my list.
Yeah.
Gluttony on all friends.
Honor your mother and father.
I honor them. That one I think I'm honestly good on.
You shall not murder.
Well, I'm pretty much in the clear on that one for now.
You shall not commit adultery.
That's like cheating.
Yeah.
I would never cheat.
And then you shall not steal.
I don't steal.
So honestly,
I steal
Joe,
the hearts of millions every single day.
That's it. I think that you're pretty good for the most part.
I would agree.
I think you're pretty good. I'm going to go through my list really quick.
Yeah, please.
No other gods before me. I feel like I've dabbled in that. Not make idols. I don't know what that means. We're American Idols. I've misused his name a lot. I keep the Sundays holy. Probably not. I mean, like, I'm like jerking. Honor your father and mother. I try. I really try, but they would say I don't. Sometimes. You shall not murder. I'm going to skip that one.
Why?
I'm kidding. I would never. I feel like I almost had part in like Lilo's death.
Lilo the hamster?
Yeah. I do believe like my fish and like
the hermit crab.
And the hermit crab. Like I feel like everything was kind of murderous in those tendencies.
Yeah.
I should not commit adultery. I've never cheated. And then I should not steal. We all know that I take Locatelli cheese.
Yeah, so that one's kind of tough.
That's kind of tough for me.
Overall, I don't think that we're not like the worst in the bunch.
No, sometimes it's a good refresher, like a nice check-in to say, like, hey, I'm going to go through the 10 Commandments really quick.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, guys. I thought you were going to take a second, and I want to go through the 10
If
Commandments.
If you're at a house party this Halloween, if you're at a club and you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed or overstimulated, great time to pull up the 10 Commandments on your phone, head into the bathroom, and give yourself a check-in.
Think about this. You got 10 fingers. It's kind of like never have I ever. And
never have I ever put false gods before God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a fun. It could be
a fun way to do it.
Fun game. It could be a fun drinking game, whatever. But I would say from everything that you said to me, Joe, it would be about 45 Our Fathers and Hail Marys.
Easy.
You'd be in that church. You would be praying in that church for hours before your mother could pick you up. So, anyways, I'm happy that you confessed. I'm happy that we had that conversation. Do you feel less sick?
I never really felt sick in the first place. I think I look great.
I think you look amazing. I think you do. I want to give you one more prayer, but we can wait. Should we take some calls?
Yeah, we should take some calls.
Good children to the guidance office.
Hey, Joe and Andrew, some of my favorite iconic podcasters in the entire world. It's my first time calling, and I'm calling because of a guy, unfortunately. It makes me actually want to, but essentially, this guy who's a teacher and works at TGI Fridays.
Love him.
Okay? He, is my hookup buddy, whatever. I don't even know if he's really all that into me, because he
likes
doesn't like what we do when he comes over. He kind of just comes over and pretends that I'm his girlfriend, hugging me and stuff, and the sex he could care honestly less about. But I don't really know what he wants from me then. He loves to sit in my bed and watch silent movies from the 1920s.
Girl, wrap it up.
And then have sex with me to make me happy, and then we'll cuddle and leave at 8 a.m. That's been my life for the last month, and it's okay, but it's just I told him last week, I said, hey, I'm literally going to eat you from the inside out if you come over, and he blue-balled me until 3 in the morning and said, well, maybe we can do something next weekend. So I guess my question to you is, do you think he really likes me? In the sense that, a hookup type of thing, or that he just likes my energy? And should I see him this weekend? I probably will, if I'm being so real. But I don't know. I really don't know what he wants from me. I have never met a man who just wants to pretend that we're dating and then leaves and brrr. So, anyways, love the pod. Would love some advice. Because I just need to know if I need to be mean, like a bitch. Because if I have to, I will. Alright, that's the end of my voicemail. Bye, guys.
Sorry, in the middle of that voicemail, there was a loud clattering bang of shattering glass coming from upstairs, and our oven door has been broken for like 3 weeks.
So we think it was
the oven door
has
falling and shattering. Kim and Colin, come get y'all juice. You know that vine?
No.
Kim and Colin can get y'all juice.
Oh,
and
yes.
the kids come running in and they slam into the oven door and it shatters. That's all I've thought about with that oven door since it broke.
Yeah, it's broken for sure.
Don't say that. I'm sick about that.
Yeah, well, it sounded like shattering glass.
So
that being said, speaking of shattering glass,
you have to stop this. You
Girl.
have to stop this because, or no, you're providing him something, and you're not even aware of what you're providing.
Is he even bringing the mozzarella sticks over?
You're providing him it's the idea of a girlfriend. It's that piece. You're providing him like it's something's up there, because if he is coming over to watch silent movies in your bed, that would be maybe cute if you guys were dating and like you were like consenting to that situation. But if this is just like you think this is like a hookup and this guy comes over and chills at your house, like that's weird. You're changing your mind?
Okay. So you're chilling. What? I have so many questions. I don't need to know the nitty gritty about the hookups at all, but I'm just wondering. He clearly likes you for you and wants to be with you sometimes, clearly, and like wants to stay over because you're very probably comfortable to him, and you bring a sense of peace and comfort.
But he's watching The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari in bed.
Mm-hmm. And not wanting to fuck.
You think he's gay?
I'm just
That's what you're
wondering.
thinking?
I'm just wondering if the sexual limitations that he has holds him from wanting to
Because you were watching Remember Me in bed, I'm sure.
I was watching Remember Me in bed, absolutely. But if I was with the one I loved or somebody that I found attractive or wanted to be with, I'd still suck and watch Remember Me. You know, so that's what I wonder is like, I'm not saying that he's gay, but I do think that it's something that he clearly might not be as sexually inclined.
Don't waste your time.
Don't you waste your time, especially if you want something more than that. You should feel fulfilled sexually, emotionally, romantically, in every sense of the means. And if he's blue balling you until 3 a.m. and then saying maybe next weekend, absolutely not, unless he's bringing potato skins.
I have to agree.
Yeah, that's tough.
Well, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of Good Children. Don't forget to do your homework.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, review. Spread the good word to your friends. All right? And we have some shows that are coming up as well. If you live in Chicago, if you live in
Indianapolis,
if you live in Madison, Wisconsin, we are coming to you in February, and tickets are live now at the link in our bio at our Instagram, so you know where to find us across all social media platforms at Good Children Pod.
And we released those tickets on pre-sale at Patreon because Patreon members get bonus perks, which includes bonus video and audio episode every single Friday and access to our chats, plus access to a backlog of over 100 more podcast episodes.
And we are going to be doing more shows next year. We can't disclose the locations, but they're going to be locations that you want us to come to. So it's $7 a month. It's $7 to unlock early access to tickets. Add $7 to that ticket. It's really not that much, but to wait out and to miss out, you can't put a price on that.
You can't put a price on missing out.
No,
you can't.
You literally can't.
And you can find us across all social media platforms, as you said, at Good Children Pod. I'm on Instagram at Joe Hegyes.
I'm on Instagram at Andrew Muscarella. And with that, let me try this prayer one more time, and let me try to get Satan out of this little Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in this day of battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and the scares of May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heavenly hosts, by the divine power of God, thrust into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who wander through the world seeking the ruins of souls. You still there, girl?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
She is like, in that movie, she's like, you're a fucking faggot. Why don't you go fuck him? Like, fully, that's what she says in the movie.
She's sick.
She's telling the priests to go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Fuck each other.
She's like, enough.
It's so good.
Oh.
All right.
All right. See you guys.